So is God real? I feel like that's a question that everybody has to answer for themselves. I mean, I know the answer to that question, but do you? I can tell you without a doubt in my mind that God is real. And how do I know? It's because he showed up in my life. I've had experiences with God where he's made himself known to me, where I can tell you that he's real. The earliest experience that I had with God was back when I first started serving the Lord. I was about 19 years old, and I was stretching myself super duper thin, going to work, going to church, and going to school, back to school for my degree. And I remember getting to service. It was a weekday service, probably Friday night youth service, and I would get there late because I would work, go to school, then go to church when school was done, and I would get there like around 9 o'clock, just in time for the preaching, and I was super duper tired. I mean, and it was that type of tired where your eyes would just hurt. And I remember sitting in the midst of two other youth, and at that time, my Spanish wasn't so good, so they used to interpret for me. And I remember in my brain during the preaching saying, Lord, what am I doing here? Why am I here? What is the purpose? What am I doing here? And I tell you no lie, there was nothing happening. Everybody was sitting down listening to the message. And I'm saying this in my brain. And all of a sudden, the preacher goes, you. And I'm sitting in the middle of the congregation and everybody's sitting down, like nobody's jumping around or anything. And he goes, you, come here. He proceeds to call me to the front of the church and then says, you want to know why you're here? He proceeds to call me to the front and tell me all these things that God has for me and the reason why I'm here. But isn't it amazing? I was sitting there in the congregation thinking these things in my mind. And the God that I serve, who's so great that there's so many people in the world, he stopped to reassure me. He called me and he pulled me out in front of the congregation to tell me why I was there, to ease the doubt in my mind. And I remember I was shaking that day, and I left that night from that service without a doubt in my mind, knowing that God is real, because he literally read my mind and spoke to me. But that's an experience that happens when you have a heart to seek God and when you take that first step to look for him yourself. So if you want to know God is real, the Bible says, taste and see that the Lord is good. Try him for yourself. And I'm sure, like he showed me, he will show you. God bless you.